You guys, what is a black belt? What I mean is, what is your definition of a black belt? If you ask somebody who doesn't have any understanding or experience in martial art, they're going to tell you a black belt is somebody who can basically walk on water, a person who can defy insane odds, handle himself against multiple attackers, break pounds and pounds of concrete and bricks, and they've trained and conditioned their hands and their feet and their body for a lifetime, and they've mastered this. That's what they think of when a person gets to a black belt. What they don't realize is most black belts quit, and the ones who don't quit simply give up anyway. But here's your breakdown. And when you think of a black belt as being a superhuman, think about this in the future. The person who doesn't know anything about martial arts or the rank or anything like that, from white to green, basically, white, yellow, orange, purple, that area, they have no understanding of the martial arts. They know how to use physical strength, and they know how to punch and maybe throw a kick or two. Recklessly, of course, but that's their understanding. When a person is a green belt to brown belt, green, blue, brown, around that area, they've been doing martial arts for a while now, probably at least a year or two, and in that time they should have learned how to throw a basic punch or kick, a few basic punches and kicks. They should know how to do that. I see brown belts, blue belts all the time who have no idea what they're doing. I have them tell me all the time, what is a back kick? I don't even know what a back kick is. What's a spinning kick? I don't know how to spin. And think about that. You're halfway up the mountain to being a black belt, and you haven't learned some basic coordination like turning your body or spinning your body around. And some martial arts don't do that. But you should have, if you're halfway, then you should at least have a halfway decent understanding of what your martial art can offer you. And in most Korean martial arts, especially Taekwondo, you should be able to throw at least a decent spinning back kick. You're halfway to black belt. By the time you're a red belt or a black belt, there should be no fumbling around with I don't know how, I don't know what I'm doing. Your confidence should be soaring, and you should really be able to fight, and maybe not necessarily just throw down and kick some ass, but you should be able to defend yourself. Now, there's a catch-22, because I know a lot of people who think they can fight. I know guys who have been in martial arts for 2-3 decades, and they really believe that they can fight. Unfortunately, these are the same guys who have never been in a fight in their life, never been in a sparring situation, other than a controlled environment where it's extremely safe. They have no idea what it's like to have somebody trying to stick their finger in your skull and dig your eyeball out, or they're trying to kick you in the testicles so hard that they're trying to rupture your groin, trying to break your knee, trying to break an arm, trying to stab you. Most martial artists have never been in that position. They fantasize about it, they dream about it, but the fact is they've just never been in that position. But yet here they are teaching people how to deal with that situation. That's one of the things I have a problem with. As you're going to call yourself a subject matter expert, which basically is what martial arts instructors are, and the majority of them have never been in this situation that they're proclaiming that they're experts in. One goofball in Tennessee was talking about spinning and kicking nickels. Dropping nickels on the floor and dropping down and spinning and kicking them. And then I called him out on it, and the guy tries to exclaim, I've snapped 4 guys' ankles in street fights doing that exact same move. And I'm going to ask you, as an adult, how many fights have you gotten yourself into that at least 4 of them have put themselves in the exact same situation for you to do the exact same technique and snap their ankles? I call bullshit. And the person's a liar. They took the video down. But fact is, you know, their little skinny guy, he couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag, but that's beside the point. So now you're a black belt. As a black belt, you should be able to handle a little abuse. That means you've done some sparring. You've been hit hard. You know, you've had your cage rattled more than a couple of times through the training time and the training experiences that you've invested. Now, if you haven't, why are you still in the martial arts? Why are you still doing the martial art that you're doing? I've trained with some great fighters and martial artists over the years, and I'm so humbled and so thankful to have been able to have had those experiences. But I can tell you that it wasn't about taking it easy on me. I mean, I trained with the greatest kickboxer of all time, which was Dennis Alexio, and he's did his best to make me experience what's going to happen in a real fight on more than one occasion. And that's a black belt. You know, a black belt has been through those battles or those experiences, and they know what it's like to get hit, and they know what it's like to hit someone. They understand what the mindset is. So if you're a green, blue, or brown belt, understand this. If the black belt is your goal, to be that person who can kick ass and handle yourself in most situations, if not every situation, then by the time you're halfway there, green, blue, brown, you should already be able to handle yourself pretty well. And if you can't, then you need to do a little soul searching and ask yourself why you can't. Because it's important that you understand a fight is not something that you're going to go out there and drop down on your knee and spin around and kick some nickels in the air and then exclaim that you've snapped 4 guys' ankles in street fights. Because you're going to get somebody like me who actually is a truth teller, and they're going to call you out on it. Anyway, that was my food for thought for being a black belt. White to yellow, don't know anything. Green, blue, brown, you're halfway up the mountain. By the time you're halfway there, you should have a pretty good understanding of what you're doing. You may not be great at it, but you should have a pretty good understanding of what it is you're doing when you're throwing blows. And you should have a couple of decent kicks that are pretty powerful. A front kick, a side kick, a roundhouse kick. Those kicks are automatic. You should have developed those from the time you were a white belt. And if you haven't, then you need to ask yourself why. By the time you're a black belt or a red belt, like I said, at this level, you've already climbed the mountain. You're at the top. You've accomplished your goal. So you need to also understand that sparring shouldn't be a problem. Sparring hard shouldn't be a problem. It should be something you look forward to. Being pushed, having fun with it, and understanding that that is what a fight is. Anyway, this is Bob Smith. Blood makes you related and loyalty makes you family. Out.